What's up, everybody? My name is Erin, and welcome to the Mad Maker Studio, and welcome back to Cooking Companions. We are in the middle of my second playthrough of the game. We are gunning for a different ending than we got the first time. We have reached the point where one of our four characters here has to go and search for food, and I'm going to be real sad if Mariah leaves the cabin first, but if she does, then that just means I have an opportunity to click options that I didn't when she was gone. But let's find out who's going to be sent out there to their doom first. Gregor grabs a branch from the woodpile. He cuts it into different measurements.
Since we can't come to a consensus, let's draw for it. We'll each pick one from my hand. And the shortest will go outside to search for food.
You're not worried about drawing. You saw Gregor cut the branch lengths, so you could tell which is the biggest one of the bunch. You pick it. You watch the others intently. Will it be Gregor? And Natalie? Karen? Will it be Oh, she is leaving the cabin first again. Interesting. Looks like I've got the shortest.
Mariah.
It's okay. I wasn't expecting her to leave first again. I watched a Natalie forage earlier, so I'll know what to look out for.
Just swim until you find higher ground, then scout the area.
Maybe you'll find a fish out there. Everyone looks heartbroken. Karen, and Natalie, and Gregor. I'll keep us alive. Maybe not in the way I originally intended, but I will. I promise. She promised. Everyone watches as Mariah leaves the cabin. The silence is deafening. Goodbye. The door shuts behind her. You can faintly hear her yell about how cold the water is. And then silence. Mariah has left the cabin. So I didn't take enough precautions beforehand. Maybe if I had tried to max out hearts with Mariah, because you have to have that option to max out the hearts, right? So maybe if I had spent more time with her, she wouldn't have left the cabin first. I'm so fascinated by this. I'm sure we'll see her again. The rest of the group nods. Everyone stays up, waiting and waiting. The sun has completely set. One by one, each person quietly shuffles off to bed. You get ready for bed and easily pass out. You have a strange dream. The two women in front of you could be twins. One of them you recognize, the other is a guest. You ask the guest to sit on a shovel, and then you try pushing it into the oven. Her legs are so strong you can't get her into the oven. You curse at her repeatedly. Like this, you hiss. You stretch out your legs until your toes are almost sticking in the coals. You feel 4 hands on your shoulders and both of them push you in. The familiar smell of smoke and burning hair cause you to throw up on the embers. So this is the witch of the cabin. I feel like as the main character, I'm possessed by her ghost. And as this ghost here already has a history of cannibalism, I have inherited that inhumane hunger. You can't let it end like this. You rip the metal door off the oven, tearing through the wood logs of the cabin. Screaming, you chase the two through the woods, your burns chill with the wind. The guest looks behind her, and her eyes widen when she sees you. She's terrified. Your fury rips trees out by their roots, soil from the ground, rocks from their pits. You've never been this angry in your entire life. Their stamina can't last forever, you're gaining on them. As you trample through a field of wheat, the guest throws a piece of cloth behind her. You catch the glint of it in the sun, golden. As if by magic, the earth splits in front of you, creating a chasm of fire below. You fall into the pit, screaming as your eyes begin to sizzle from the heat. Hellfire fills your lungs, you're unable to scream anymore. You wake in a cold sweat. Yep, it's the same picture, okay. I really want to get to a different ending. And again, I'm going in completely blind, no walkthroughs, no community hints. And also, the day Mariah leaves is the same day that this fuzzy chipmunk squirrel thing has left. Because the animal, he sensed the danger. He's like, whoop, they're going to start eating each other. It's time for me to book it out of here. Take me with you, please.
Good morning. Do you think she made it to higher ground?
Probably not again. We gave her nothing.
I believe in Mariah.
Me too.
She'll be fine. Right, little guy?
So what do we do now? Just wait?
Karen?
How long? It's been almost a day since she left. And Natalie and Gregor look nervous. Someone needs to go look for her.
We need to wait, Karen.
Wait for what?
The nearest town is miles and miles away. Waiting is all we can do for now.
So it could be days before she gets back? What are we supposed to eat? Mice? Can I go back and get the mice from the cupboard for you, please?
Karen, I'm sure Natalie will agree, but we'll discuss next options when we get to it. Every waking thought is about food now. I never should have eaten that much.
Karen's hands are involuntarily shaking. And yet, the extra emergency supplies from the bedroom have yet to been brought up. If they even matter, I don't know. Gregor and Natalie just nod in agreement. They don't even need her to elaborate. You're sure Mariah will make it back. She promised. Everyone retreats to their areas. What do you want to do today? Speak with Natalie in the kitchen, talk with Karen in the bedroom, or speak with Gregor in the living room. I'm already regrettably on the Karen train, so let's go there.
Hey. You don't have to lie to me. I know Mariah's not coming back.
I don't know where she came up with her being the best swimmer. I guess the only one that would know would be Natalie. Last summer, Natalie would watch her swim from the shore. Okay, so the four of them know each other prior to coming here. Okay, I'm coming with more questions than answers, and I just need to play the game to understand. He could have been a lifeguard, such a good swimmer. She never went under, but if she did, he would have pulled her out easily. Why would she lie about something like that? Karen seems deep in thought, and if you think about it, Mariah actually got off the easiest, or out of the... She got out before she lost her humanity, you know what I'm saying? Maybe it's better to leave her alone. You close the door softly.
I can't stop thinking about that vegetable stew.
Also, what kinds of vegetables did we have? No one had the foresight to make a little garden. What, did you think you're just gonna be here for the weekend? And then head off somewhere else? No, I think you're here and you're stuck here and you can't leave, you can't go back home. Nobody thought ahead, and that makes me so frustrated. I'd be fine with the bread and jam. I'd be fine with just strawberries. Nobody else laughs.
I would kill for some vegetables right about now.
Was kill underlined the first time around? I do not remember. You would too.
I'm going to try and get some sleep.
Good night.
Night.
You fall asleep quickly, but you only dream about desecrating a corpse. You wake in a cold sweat. In a completely different room. Okay, so we've passed the first week. So Mariah didn't get very far.
Good morning.
Karen's looking worse. Will you cook for the group today? I hate that we only get the one option. We could just say no, and then maybe later on be like, you were holding out on us. Get extra crazy, but sure. You take out a cutlet of meat and begin to cook it in the oven. Now, this was the point, like, legitimately, I had to step away a couple times through the first playthrough because I could not stomach just thinking about this. But editing and going back through it, I'm a little bit desensitized to it because I want to focus on the story. You cooked meat. Where did you get that? Oh, I think you know, Karen. If you came here intending to be my apprentice, ensuring your own survival above everyone else's by trying to curry my favor, you already know what it is. You ignore Karen's question. What's that smell? Gregor finally gets off the couch.
Where did you?
The three are looking at you, salivating. You take the charred meat out of the oven, cutting into small cutlets. They immediately grab some off the plate, chewing ferociously. You take a piece and immediately devour it. Do you have any more of this? You explain how the meat is stored securely, hidden so you can ration better this time. I understand.
Thank you.
And Natalie runs to the bathroom, puking in the toilet. You can hear him sobbing for a few minutes.
This taste is...
Gregor wanders off. And Natalie returns looking choked up.
I was too weak.
Left you some of the meat. Don't fight this, Natalie.
Meh.
And Natalie takes a cutlet from the plate, turning his back to the group as he devours it. You can hear him crying. Finally, my focus is coming back. Going to read some of those books. Keep them occupied, okay? Karen leaves you with the men. Who do you want to talk to? Let's talk to Gregor. Not the appropriate music for what just happened, and you're smiling, excuse you. Do you have a dark side I don't know about?
Hey. Thanks for cooking the meat earlier. I was nearly passing out from the hunger pangs. Even if I'm a meat and potatoes kind of guy, I appreciate the vegetarian dishes you made earlier. You really respected Mariah's boundaries.
Did I?
Thank you.
Oh, no, he's just a himbo. Gregor is more dense than you gave him credit for.
Heh. If there's extras, slip me some extra meat. Okay?
Either he's dense or he's just super in denial. And that's how he can cope with it. Gregor will remember that. Your relationship is stronger.
Going to see how Natalie is doing. Later.
You have the bedroom all to yourself. Where do you want to check first? Ooh. Hold up, I want a safety save here. Okay, I know I just said I don't want to like flip-flop, go back and forth, but there's 4 choices here and I only get 1. Oh, so fascinated. Yeah, that's right. Why do we have a bird cage in here? I'm so curious about the floorboard. Okay, I'm gonna go through all 4 of them, just top down, and then I'll use my safety save, and then I'll pick which one I want to stick with. You know what I mean? Under the beds. You look under both of the beds. Just some dust and hair. Gross. You decide to inspect one of the hairs under the bed. Interesting. I love that you can re-click on the same area and get different information. It's long and red. Has to be Karen's hair. You inspect another piece of hair. It appears to be black. A Natalie? Gasp! You find a small box in the corner. Ooh. That must have been your imagination. There's nothing but hair and dust down here. Better luck next time. Way to get my hopes up. Can I check under the beds again? No, okay, this is where the dialogue loops. I don't want to click the one that's going to progress the story before I'm ready to move on. I want to know what's under the floorboard. You notice a bone sticking out. Is it a human bone? Nope, chicken bone. Gross. The floorboard looks a little loose. You could probably try to pull it up to see under it. You're far too weak to pull up that floorboard. Can I try again? This floorboard should really be repaired. You wonder if you could repair it yourself. You definitely can't repair this yourself. Nobody is around for miles either. Okay, real quick. I'm gonna do another save here. I don't want to lose the progress I made from repeatedly checking these areas again, but I also don't want to like click like, oh, inside the nightstand, and then it like progresses. I want to fully go through everything. Can I under the floorboard? Come on. You look a little closer at the hole. You found a small sock. Oh, no. Children's sock. Somebody's foot out there is probably cold. The small sock is worthless. Why did you even pick it up? Okay, looping dialogue. Inside the birdcage. There's nothing in the birdcage. It's completely empty. The bottom of the birdcage is completely spotless. Did a bird ever go in here? No bird droppings or anything. You can tell from the outside of the cage that it's completely empty. right? You observe that the cage is quite large. Maybe this isn't meant for birds? Perhaps children? You look a little closer. You can make out an E, but the letter to the left of it is scratched out. So we found the letter L under the cupboard and an E in here. Are these the names of the children, or at least the initials of the children that came to the witch's cabin? This clue seems worthless. I bet it's not. I went straight for the bird cage. I was so worried if we went to the nightstand over and over again or whatever, that it was just going to progress and we wouldn't get a look in the bird cage. But we're finding clues, and that makes me so excited. Oh gosh, Onion. Onion? Don't be a crybaby, it's just me.
Onion! Boy!
I was just playing with some of the toys in this drawer from the children that used to be here.
Onion!
You're far too old to be playing with any of them. You're never too old for toys. Anyways, need to attend a secret trumpet meeting.
Boy!
Mail you later. Onion bounces out of the bedroom. The drawer has various children's toys in it. What's this? Ooh. June 26th, 1862. Another body of a child has been discovered within the city of Zakopane with the remains stuffed into a barrel full of potatoes. The cause of death was identical to earlier victims, with significant blood loss due to multiple stab wounds to the stomach. This marks the fourth victim by the butcher of Zakopane in less than a month. You take the bloody newspaper with you. I really wish I had an inventory button so I could review clues. Okay, we got 2 out of 5 papers. So does this carry over from my previous playthrough where I found the first paper? I don't know anymore, man. I'm so excited. Hours passed. The meal gave everyone the perseverance to keep going. Oh my gosh, do you guys see it? You see under the cupboard, it's a face. I thought I could see something there earlier and I couldn't make it out. Oh, you see, there's the eye and the creepy mouth. Oh, dude, that's so cool. Eating will just make them hungrier. And it faded out. It faded out. I saw it that time. Oh, I wonder if maybe my first thought was like, oh, it's the ghost of the children, but maybe that's the ghost of the witch that's possessing me. They're fine now, but soon they'll be begging for more. We've waited long enough. What's for dinner? You calmly explain that you want to ration the meat better this time and there will be no dinner. Fine. I understand.
I guess I'd rather eat tomorrow than more today.
No arguments? Perfect. Everyone decides to call it an early night. You fall asleep instantly tonight. You have a strange dream. You're having dinner with a blacksmith, but he's not touching his food. The only light in the room comes from the oven. He clears his throat, stroking his beard.
I could forge anything,
he says. Your eye has been giving you issues lately, so you reply.
Forge me a new eye then.
You laugh. But then the ropes come out. He ties you to your chair with a long rope to prevent you from struggling. You rip the rope apart without even trying, so the blacksmith uses a thicker rope. No turning back now. He takes a hot poker out of the coals. Holding it in front of his face, you can see his beard and eyes watching you. He slowly brings back the poker, aiming carefully for your eye, before plunging it through your skull with a sickening crunch. The force of the blow throws you backwards a few feet. You're unable to break the ropes. You vomit all over your chest. as the smell of your decimated eye floods your nostrils. The blacksmith stands over you, spitting on your body. You wake in a cold sweat. You wake up to see Gregor looking out the window. He turns to you, not smiling.
Take a look out the window. Do you notice anything?
Они вас никогда не простят.
The floodwaters have receded a little bit, but everyone is still bound to the cabin.
The trail used to be completely visible. It's gone now.
Good morning, big guy.
Will Mariah make it back?
This might sound a little crazy. Every night around 2 a.m. I can hear her outside. She makes this awful gurgling noise, like just trying to get water out of her lungs. Have you heard her, Gregor?
Sometimes when the rain gets faint, I think I can hear her whispering.
I haven't heard anything like that. When she's whispering, it's like she's trying to tell you something. Right? Yes. I sometimes hear her crying through the radio. But that's just a broadcast. Right? I think we should have another piece of meat for breakfast. One step closer to Mariah. Is what she would have wanted.
What's gotten into you, Natalie?
And Natalie's eyes look at you, begging. Bring us another slab. Please. He clearly doesn't have the stomach for it. I can't get the taste out of my mouth. Please help me.
Natalie.
Gregor looks pained at Natalie's words. I think he's right. Please bring us more of that meat. You grab some of the meat from your secret hiding place. You cut it into squares, adding it to the boiling cauldron water. It will taste bland without any seasoning, but you need to serve it up right away. What's taking so long? Boil it faster.
It looks almost done. Patience.
It's finally finished. You serve the meat in bowls. Gregor drinks the broth first before swallowing the chunks whole. Like a duck does when eating bread. And Natalie creates ripples in the broth using the spoon he isn't eating.
I'm sorry about earlier, everyone. I don't know what overtook me. Mariah.
And Natalie begins to weep. You look over at Karen. You didn't notice her even start to eat. There's just an empty bowl now. Karen is staring right at you. How much more meat is left? You explain how most of it has gone bad. This is the last of it. Grr! How could you be so careless again? You remember Karen's knife. You need to think fast. What the hell are we supposed to do now? Wait around again. This storm isn't ending. You clear your throat. And Natalie?
Yes.
I think tomorrow you should look for Mariah. Or forage for plants outside.
I think you should go tomorrow, little guy. Nobody else can identify edible plants like you. Please, Natalie. You can swim back after a few hours.
Gregor is right, Natalie. Maybe you'll find Mariah out there.
I think Mariah's fine by herself.
He still hasn't accepted what happened yet.
She doesn't need anyone's help.
But we need your help, Natalie.
That's right, Natalie. Please help us.
Let me sleep on it. Okay?
No problem, little guy.
Everyone shuffles off to their rooms, reading books and knitting to pass the time. You go to bed ravenous. Is that you whispering, Mariah? Mariah. Something is approaching.
Onion!
Hey! Don't be a crybaby, it's just me. Onion! Not going to be very sweet today. I'm worried about it, Natalie. He's going to cave to peer pressure. Can you stop him from leaving the cabin? You don't answer, Onion. Please? Don't you trust me? You shake your head. Got a fun factoid for you. Did you know that leaving out an unpeeled onion in your room absorbs bacteria? It will help prevent colds and ward off viruses. That was a lie. The fun factoid of that myth, people actually believed it in the 1500s. How embarrassing. Who would believe that? Ha ha ha. There was even a doctor in 1919 who caused a surge of people believing it. Ha 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 ha. Anyways. You know what smells like a raw onion left in a room? You. It's been a while since your last bath, right? You can't remember. Could smell you before I even came into the room.
Onion!
Yikes. So, can you stop Natalie from leaving? I know he has cabin fever, but this is ridiculous. It will be impossible to stop a grown man from leaving.
Onion!
Please. We don't need another one stuck in the hallways. Tapping on the windows. Crying through the radio. You have the sudden urge to scream. Why do you think I've been using the mouse hose to get around?
Onion!
Scared to death that I'll run into her. Her Mariah or her the ghost witch? Don't make me tattle a cabbage about you. She could be as mean as potato if you get on her bad side.
Onion! Onion!
Just kidding, she's great. Anyways, when the time comes, just tell Natalie you care about him and don't want him to leave. Even if it's for me, okay? Now, I've spent this time, I've not done any relationship progress with the Natalie, so is he even going to listen to me at this point? Or did I need to be building that relationship so he would listen to me at this point? You could trust me. Now, if you excuse me, I need to work on some new ice skates. They're made of butter slices, so I'll get to skate around the frying pan tomorrow.
Onion!
Later! Your mind finally manages to forget everything that happened. You fall asleep again, still ravenous. have a strange dream. A fox is collecting payment in your living room. You despise him, so you put 2 dogs at the bottom of a sack, then add 6 chickens on top. The fox smiles at you and leaves. At some point in his journey, the fox will eventually open the sack, and the dogs tear the fox in half. Filled with such loathing for the fox, you gave him the only things you had for food, all of those chickens. As the snow piles up outside, you begin to eat whatever you can find. Pillowcases, candles, leather. One day you wake up and you have nothing left to eat. Absolutely nothing. Just an insatiable hunger. A few days later, you go mad and leave the cabin, completely ravenous. A nearby tree looks like charred meat. Your iron teeth cut through the tree bark, tearing your gums apart by the splinters. Your mouth fills quickly with blood. Days later, a deer gallops by. The first creature in the woods to see your corpse. You wake in a cold sweat. Something smells terrible in the living room. Someone puked in a corner. You wipe it up with a rag to save them the embarrassment.
Good morning. Good morning, little guy.
Well, Natalie, what's your decision?
I barely slept last night. Her whispers came through one of the holes in the floor. She kept telling me to come outside. Herm. We don't want to rush you. But one of us puked last night. So that's what that smell was.
Natalie, my patience is wearing thin. You have 1 hour to make a decision.
Why so quickly?
Because I'm not waiting any longer. You can see the glint of Karen's knife under her dress. Best to watch out for that knife. The group disperses, tensions seem to be rising. You have 1 hour to kill. What do you want to do? Oh, talk with the Chompets. I think I did that the last time, trying to get more information. But I need to try and save a Natalie. And Natalie looks pale.
Thanks for coming over.
And Natalie seems comforted by your presence.
Gregor told me he's heard Mariah. I'm sure Karen isn't being honest with me. Have you checked out the basement door closely? Every so often. I can see her peeking out at me through the holes.
Don't think it's Mariah, I think it's the Ghost Witch, but who knows?
I really don't want to drown outside. But at least I won't have her tormenting me anymore. You know it's in the basement, don't you?
Probably a horrible, horrible memory. I'm gonna say yes.
Of course you do. How else would you keep us fed?
And Natalie looks like he's going to puke.
Please get away from me.
And Natalie leaves your vicinity. It looks like a Natalie will remember that. You call everyone together for a meeting.
Natalie, you okay, little guy?
And Natalie looks pale, like he's going to pass out. And Natalie, have you made a decision?
Yes. I'll help you all out.
No, we couldn't save him again. Oh, what if we had maxed out our relationship with him before we got to this point?
I promise.
But even though we're still kind of following along with the same outcomes, per se, We're finding different things this time around, which is what I'm most excited about. Every little puzzle piece matters.
Thank you, Natalie.
Big tears roll down Gregor's cheeks.
I'll miss you, big guy. I'll miss you, little guy.
Thank you, Natalie. I know this wasn't easy, but it's for the best.
Karen,
Yes? Gregor looks at you expectantly.
Did you want to say anything to Natalie?
You say nothing. Goodbye, Natalie.
Goodbye, everyone. Good luck, little guy.
We're just falling into the same pattern.
See you soon, little guy.
I guess all we can do now is wait. Good night. Karen goes to the bedroom to sleep.
I didn't tell him the truth.
Gregor is getting choked up.
I didn't tell him. Missing him already.
Truth about what do you eat, his animal friend? Gregor curls up on the couch for the night, turning his back to you. You shut your eyes, quickly falling asleep. You hear a scraping from the floor. Found you. You explain how this isn't a good time right now. This is no laughing matter. I'm worried about Gregor. He's as tall as a tree, but dumb as a brick. What's the root of that? Another cornbread classic. You're being very unpopular right now. That's a tree reference, get it? Anyways, you need to protect Gregor from the red-haired woman. I'm going to try, Brett. I'm going to try. I think I'm just gonna have the same result. Cabbage called an emergency chompette meeting and told me to give you this mission. Watch out for that knife and protect Gregor at all costs. Understood? Yes. You nod. It's the yeast you can do, right? You tell Brett that pun didn't make sense, but it does. On a roll today, I'll see you around. Brett hops away, squeezing himself through the mouse hole with a small pop. You fall asleep thinking about what Brett told you. You have a strange dream. It's lying on the table in front of you. You take off the glasses first, partially cracked, and set them down next to the workbench. Working the saw, you wrap the cuts in an old newspaper. Some of it gets soggy immediately, so you begin drying the cuts with the towel before wrapping. Much better. You hear something approaching, so you clench a fist and get ready to strike whatever's coming for you. You wake in a cold sweat. Telling you we're possessed by the witch of this cabin. I'm gonna have to go through and find someone who's been able to understand or translate these whispers. You wake in a completely different place. Did you sleepwalk or you found some meat? Everybody's still asleep. This would be a nice surprise after yesterday's events. You decide to cook breakfast for everyone, cutting each slice fairly thin. You brown each side in the oven. The smell is unique. Karen runs into the kitchen. What is that smell? Give it to me. Now. You don't argue. Karen grabs a cutlet, burning her hands before bringing it to her mouth. Ah! She hungrily devours it, barely chewing. She grabs another cutlet off the plate and eats it. You thought she was concerned with rationing. Gregor wakes up from the couch and heads into the kitchen.
Oh, God. Already?
Gregor looks conflicted, but he succumbs to the hunger. They always do. Gregor eats his food in a few bites, carefully grabbing a second cutlet. The tears start streaming down his face, but he doesn't make a sound. You join them in the meal, quickly consuming the meat on the table. I can think straight again. We'll be out of here in no time. No need to ration anything now. Karen is sounding more determined than before.
I'm going to lie down on the couch. Try to keep this food down.
Gregor crawls onto the couch, turning his back to you. Karen leans in to whisper. I'm glad Mariah and Natalie are gone. They were stopping us from bonding properly. How did you get so good at it? You tell Karen. After one bite, it just made me feel whole again. Even with the nightmares, it's worth it. It took a few nights, but I fought back. And now it's all I can think about. I read the book on necropsy. The text is ancient, but the diagrams are beautifully drawn. Very descriptive. How many years did it take you to perfect the craft? You tell her. Yeah, right. So I'm assuming we told her, like, over 100 years. I used to tell Mariah that you weren't funny, but that's not true. Sorry about that. You've grown on me. Karen pauses, deep in thought. You know Gregor can't swim, right? He'd be the next to leave, but he doesn't stand a chance outside. They always seem to come back, right? In one way or another. Why wait for him to come back? Karen hands you a vial of liquid. I think you know it needs to be done. This is a strong anesthetic. Don't ask me how I found it. I want you to slip this into Gregor's mug tonight. This is for the best. He won't feel any pain until he wakes up. All you have to do is stand back and let me work on him. This request is beyond extreme. Will you do this for me? First time around, I think I said, well, why don't you do it? And then I said no, and then she went and did something anyway. I'm gonna say yes. I knew you would. Thank you. You nod. She's learning quickly. You definitely think Karen will remember that. Your relationship is stronger, but I feel like because we missed that first heart at the very, very beginning of the game, we're not going to make it to 5 hearts. So I think I need to take that into consideration the next time I go through a playthrough of this. Karen hands you a vial of mysterious liquid, and you add it to Gregor's mug. Gregor! It's been a while since you've had some water. Come drink with us. Gregor looks frightened.
I can't stop thinking about the little guy. I can't even remember what happened before we arrived. It just never ends. I miss Natalie and Mariah.
Let us toast to Natalie and Mariah. They'll always be inside of us, Gregor. Can't change that now. Gregor begins to weep.
You're right.
We're having it raw tonight, Gregor.
What?
Eating raw meat is one of life's great gambles. Get awfully sick or... Gregor slowly puts the meat in his mouth, ignoring the smell. No, why? Why are we doing? You're just gonna drink the water. He swallows each bite with a wince on his face.
Trying not to get sick. I'll never forget the first time I met Natalie. We were kids. I was chopping firewood outside the house. And Natalie brought over a butterfly net filled with them. He introduced himself and asked me if I wanted to hold one of the butterflies. I had never held one before. He told me not to crush it between my large paws. He did have miniature hands himself, so I get it. Anata and Karen, what did you put in this water?
Would you do anything to save your friends, Gregor?
Of course.
Gregor's eyes start to droop. What the hell was Karen's liquid? I think it'd be best to have an early bedtime tonight. Let me help you onto the couch, Gregor.
Yeah. Thank you, Karen.
Gregor passes out cold. Thank you. I'll do the rest. Even if he screams, please ignore Gregor when he wakes up. Okay? You don't want to interrupt Karen with this. You leave her alone, going into the bedroom and crawling into the bed Natalie slept in. You fall asleep almost instantly. Wake up, sleepyhead. Now, is it Mariah in the doorway again? She's got the same hair swoopies, but it could also be the witch of the cabin. We've got to find more clues, fam. You were having a nightmare. Thanks for letting me practice last night. I think I did a great job. Made us all some breakfast this morning to celebrate. Breakfast? With what? That's a surprise. Gregor already finished his. Took a few hours, but he caved. Come on, let me show you. You get out of bed and head to the living room. We're back here.
Why?
He's a little weak from the blood loss, but don't worry. Bandaged him up like a field medic.
My.
What is it, Gregor?
Where am I?
God, you're stupid. Maybe if you spent as much time reading books as chopping wood, you would have noticed the pages I was bookmarking in the necropsy book.
What are you talking about?
Do I have to spell it out for you? You can't swim. How are you supposed to help us out when you'd immediately drown? You sink like a log.
What?
I put some of your limbs away for safekeeping. That leg was pretty tasty, huh? Gregor goes pale. How's that for a big breakfast? Ha ha ha! And don't try to crawl away. If you leave this couch, I'll end you. I don't want any of it to go bad, so we'll have to eat that fresh on when everything else is gone. Speaking of which, going to start cooking another chunk. I'll leave you two alone to chat.
This has gone too far. Hey. All I wanted to do was keep everyone alive and together. But I failed at that. Are you disappointed in me?
Oh, it's gonna break my heart, but I gotta pick different choices.
Oh, I wasn't expecting that.
I'm disappointed in all four of you for not coming up, not even trying to come up with a solution.
When it's time, don't let her torture me anymore. Please make it quick. I beg of you. I'm sorry. Getting too lightheaded to hold a good conversation, haha. She's going to torture me again. You know that, right?
You nod. Gregor grows a little more pale.
Can you cover me with a blanket? I've never been this cold. This cabin, it chills me to the bones. Or what's left of them. Please, consider it my dying wish.
No.
You monster. Let me die in peace. Leave. I don't have any more words for you. You.
You watch the last of Gregor's air escape his lungs. What the hell do you think you're doing? You tell Karen that Gregor gave up. We could have kept him alive for another week. What's wrong with you? No matter. Plenty of food left now. Karen leaves you alone. You head to the kitchen to try to find the other remains. Gregor. You look at the pile of dishes and your mind starts to wander.
Hello.
Let's play hide and seek. There's 5 of us to find.
Yes, banana.
Can you find all of us? The red-haired woman should know where the basement key is. And I bet one of us is hiding down there. She's whittling something in the rocking chair right now. So watch out for that knife. Probably best to avoid the knife. Wait. Isn't that your knife? Why did you let her have it? I think she stole it. You shrug. As the leader of the Chompettes, it's important you find all of us. But please don't forget any of us. Good luck. Cabbage rolls away and tries to hide. Why would Cabbage want to play hide and seek right now? So I can find more clues. You have been neglecting the Chompettes lately. Can't hurt to play along with them, right? You go talk to Karen in the living room. I'm going to end this section of Cooking Companions here. So far, I've not made any remarkable changes to the storyline from my first playthrough, but we have been able to locate more clues, like the letters in the cabinet in the bird cage, something under the floorboard. We saw the creepy face under the cupboard. There's a lot going on. I don't know how remarkable the changes are going to be moving forward for my first playthrough. I'm still going to go through everything, refresh myself on the story that leads up to this point. I'm going to find more clues, different clues. There's just a lot going on, so I'm going to end it here. Thank you so much for joining me. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, I hope to see you next time. Bye!